Okay, I want to believe that you can hear me. If you can hear me, I would like Onye in the studio to give me that feedback. Onye, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the studio can hear me. Fellow Amazonians, ladies and gentlemen, we are having an exceptional evening with Pa Augustine Dangam, the scholar that is yet alive to teach us Amazonians. Pa Augustine Dangam was taking us down history. Prior to the disconnection that we have, I wish to really apologize to you all that are watching on the social media, particularly on Facebook and on YouTube and even on satellite on our from our website. I wish to appreciate you for being patient. I can see from the groups Amazonians have been typing, connecting. If our daddy will disconnect and will take the courtesy, it has taken us some minutes to get him connected again. Then you that is watching, you who is watching on Facebook and on YouTube, all you have to do is just to share again and continue to share and tell somebody that we're back live. Papa, I want to thank you very much for being patient with us, for passionately wanting to tell us this truth. Like I said during the beginning, there is no one else that can tell us this in the way you will tell us at this time. Among many who were with you, I discovered today that you were among those who took Cameroon to court and won Cameroon. You have that spirit of a winner in you, and that's the same spirit you're connected to us today. You won Cameroon in 2018. President Sako took Cameroon to Abuja court and won Cameroon. And you took Cameroon and a few others, I'm sure, with Molanjo Litumbe, who is of late today, and won Cameroon. Our generation has taken it, has escalated it because of the recalcitrance, the arrogance of Cameroon. And we are beating Cameroon already. We will definitely beat Cameroon out of our national territory. All those watching, please continue to share. We're back. We are undaunted. We are unstoppable. By the time we left, Pa was talking to us about Aijo's statement at the Security Council. I hope I've been able to relocate you or to resituate you, Daddy. Just cue in from there. Ambazonians were listening to you. You were about reading what Aijo was saying at the Security Council. We are all ears. The floor is yours. I also want to highlight that the Secretary of State for Communications and ID has already indicated his presence. At the end of your discussion, he will take, at the end of this discussion and a few calls, we will take in some calls. So follow very keenly and be ready because the calls we're going to take will not be many. So be ready to call in, talk to Pa Augustine Dangam, give your appreciation and ask your questions. Since many would want to call in, we will not give you a long time to speak. Please, Daddy, your floor is all yours.
Thank you. I didn't realize that I talked a lot after that. But I started with the event of the partitioning of our country into two. The relevance of that partitioning is that when it came to decolonization, this was a territory that was a single territory given to the British to administer, prepare them. And in the Charter of the United Nations, if you read the Charter, Article 73, I have the Charter here. Article 73 of the United Nations Charter says that members of the United Nations which have or assumed responsibility for the administration of territories whose people have not yet attained a full measure of self-government recognize the principle that the interests of the inhabitants of those territories are paramount and accept as a sacred trust the obligation to promote to the utmost within the system of international peace and security established by the present charter, the well-being of the inhabitants of these territories. This Article 73 of the Charter of the United Nations tells us that every country that accepted this responsibility to administer trust territories was doing it, has accepted to do it in the interest of the people of the trust territory. It's a commitment that these powers who took over these international territories to administer accepted. But while we're saying this, I'm saying this, you have to ask at every point whether what the British did in our country was in their own interest or ours. Any rational being can ask this question. We started with the event of partitioning the country into two. The first thing we want to say about that is that when it came to decolonization, which is the central theme we're talking about, when it came to that point of decolonizing us, of giving our independence, the excuse which the British gave to deny us sovereign independence was that Southern Cameroons or Northern Cameroons, each was too small to be a sovereign country. Each Southern Cameroon was too small and too poor to be a sovereign country. Northern Cameroon was too small and too poor to be a sovereign country. And any rational being will ask the question, if British Cameroons was divided into two, what good reason had the administering authority had for that decision to divide? You cannot divide an apple into two halves and say that, well, this half is small. If you were bigger, you should have been this. If you were this side, you are too small for what I want to do. If you were bigger, it was the idea that you were dividing it to make it bigger or each half to make bigger. There's no logic in it. And certainly the interest of the people was not what led them to divide us into two. So the official reason why that was given when it came to decolonizing British Cameroons by the administering authority were two. One, too small. Secondly, too poor. And so their decision was then to send us into neighboring countries to get lost, suppress our existence, obliterate the territory. Anyway, there are three important laws about decolonization. I want to carry you through two of them. I want to walk you through two of the laws on decolonization. And we are not going into the work of lawyers, but this is the text that everybody who is doing whether research or just ordinary, you should know the facts in this law, in these two laws that we are going to look at now. And when I say we are going to look at, I'm simply going to read the first and the second one, not the whole thing, what the parts that are important, and listen to it. As you listen to me reading, there are two things you should keep in mind. What does that law say? What does it say? Just listen to me. I may make comments as I go. Secondly, did what the law say, is that what was done or something else? The first And the most important one about decolonization is United Nations Resolution 1514 XV. It describes the process of decolonization. What should be done when you say you decolonize? I want to read just the declarations. I'm not going to read the whole text. And this is it. It makes 7 declarations. Let us listen to 5 of those declarations carefully. What does it say? One or something else? It declares that 1, the subjection of people to alien subjugation, domination, and exploitation constitutes a denial of the fundamental human rights, is contrary to the Charter of the United Nations, and is an impediment to the promotion of world peace and cooperation. That's the first declaration. If you subject people to be subordinated, to subjugation, to domination, foreign domination, let me just read it. Listen. 2, all peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, freely their politics and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural self-determination. So a human right, an important human right. 3, inadequacy of political, economic, social, and educational preparedness should never serve as a pretext for delaying independence. I read that again, and I want you to think of the reason why we were denied sovereign independence by the administering authority. This third one says inadequacy of political, economic, social, or educational preparedness should never serve as a pretext for the delaying of independence. That is what this law says. We were denied Southern Cameroon's, a trust territory, was denied sovereign independence and asked to join, but other because they were small and poor. 4, listen, because we are still under colonization, under a different colonial. We are not under British now, but we are still under a colonial power who is an African. Listen to this 4. All armed action or repressive measures of all kinds of directed against dependent peoples shall cease in order to enable them to exercise peacefully and in order and freely their right to complete independence, and the integrity of their national territory shall be respected. Now, this one, we are not a colony of the Republic of Cameroon, but what we're saying is they are treating us exactly like colonial masters, and the invasion of southern Cameroon to solve anything that we should have sat down, whether it is federalism or it is unitary, and said what is best for us as a united or as a country. They pick up a gun to solve the problem. We got our own independence on a different date. They got theirs on a different date. The solution is not violence. The solution will never, that gun will never solve the problems between us and the Republic of Cameroon. Never. They'll fight us. We started with catapults, but we will defend ourselves. We refuse them victory. We will refuse them to govern our territory. That is certain. We will refuse to kneel down to the Republic of Cameroon. That is a fact. Here, the law says you cannot use armed action to repress a people. We started by accepting that if we are coming together, we will be two states of equal status. It is written agreement, it is signed, and today, for the last 60 years, the Republic of Cameroon has treated Southern Cameroon as a captured people. They did not capture us in war. And we were trust territory, category B, the same. They were trust territory, category B. And if this status of trusteeship, international trusteeship territories was something like a race towards a winning mark. I mean, if the territories towards independence, which is what is declared in the Charter of the United Nations, Article 76. The race was towards either independent self-government or independence. Two things, Article 76 of the Charter. If it was a race between us and the Republic of Cameroon, any objective person, referee, would say that Southern Cameroon won. Republic of Cameroon, well, you got independence because your own colonial master made your own way of achieving independence very cheap. In fact, those countries that France gave independence to, many writers group them and say they are the group of flag and national anthem. Flag and national anthem, which simply means when the United Nations came up with the idea that no, it's time to give independence to these people. France just went to its colonies and said, write a national anthem, design a flag. And they designed a flag, wrote national anthem, came and France took them and said they are ready for independence. They were given the independence. France went into certain agreements with them, with its colonies. That's a known historical fact. They got independence under certain conditions with France. The British did not do that. No. Those French colonies were given conditional independence. Say for the next 100 years, this will be the thing. You will be said you are independent, but this, I control this. I control whether it's your resources or whether it is and you have to pay tax. You have to pay this to the treasury in France. They went into a conditional independence. That we are not querying that. That has nothing to do with us. Southern Cameroon was not a French colony. What we question now, and we have a right to question, we have a right to protest. Where they were signing that, when La République was signing its own conditions for independence with France, we were not part of it. We were not there. And we cannot be treated like French colonies. This is the point. France cannot have a final say about things that we were not their simple. We were not their colony. We did not sign any conditions of independence with them. And they cannot say we voted to join the Republic of Cameroon, so we are part of their ex-colony. That makes no sense. And it makes no sense either for them to say the conflict we have with the Republic of Cameroon is an internal, a domestic matter to the Republic of Cameroon. It is not. It is an international matter. And whatever we have with the Republic of Cameroon and they are shooting us, they are invading our country, is an international matter. The invasion of southern Cameroon now is exactly what Putin has done to Ukraine. It is exactly the same. The Republic of Cameroon has picked up gun, crossed an international boundary, and is attacking southern Cameroon for the last 5 years. So, the claim that we voted to join the Republic of Cameroon and we are part of it, so anything that is happening is an internal matter, is out of the question. This is a conflict between two separate trust territories of the United Nations who, yes, we voted to join the Republic of Cameroon, yes, on certain conditions. When we go to the next law, we'll talk about that. But here, let me finish. Article 5, very important. Article 5 of Resolution 1514, very important. Have this particular UN Resolution 1514. This section I'm reading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Read it again and read Article 5. Let me read Article 5. It says, immediate steps shall be taken in trusts and non-self-governing territories or all other territories which have not yet attained independence to transfer all powers to the peoples of those territories without any conditions or reservations, in accordance with their freely expressed will and desires, without any distinctions as to race, creed, or color, in order to enable them to enjoy complete independence and freedom. This paragraph, it says, all powers shall be transferred to the people of the territory. This is perhaps the center of what we want to say in the talk of today. This is the statement in the law about decolonization. Decolonization means that the colonial power that is administering, to decolonize means it should transfer all its powers to the people of that territory, to the leadership of that territory, to the government of that territory, so that when they leave, that power, that authority belongs to the people of that territory. In the specific case of British Southern Cameroons, it was the territory and its people that was transferred to the Republic of Cameroon. This is the one thing that we have been saying for the last 60 years. That is wrong in Cameroon. The law says transfer the powers to the people of the territory. When the British were living, they transferred southern Cameroon to the Republic of Cameroon. And that is at the heart of everything that is happening now. That is the central problem in the decolonization of the British Southern Cameroons. Power was not transferred to the government of the Southern Cameroons. There was a vibrant government, vibrant democracy that the Republic of Cameroon hadn't got a house. I mean, they had not gone through the race. They had not got elections and government and powers change hands. Experienced that, but Southern Cameroon for 7 years, from 1954 to 61, Southern Cameroon was a self-governing state. A self-governing state from 1954, from October 1954 to 61. We were self-governing. Our parliament, our government, we did elections, free and fair. Our governments changed hands. If they were awarding that independence and sovereignty on the basis of the experience that the territory had, Southern Cameroon should talk first before the Republic of Cameroon, who was merely asked to write an anthem and design a flag and come for independence. So this is law number 1. We leave it and take up law number 2, the second law that is important in our history. And I just want to look at 2. I will not read the whole thing. I'll read just 2 paragraphs in it. And we round up. The second and important law that concerns the decolonization of our country is Resolution 1608 XV. This is the second important text when you talk about what went wrong. And again, I want us to look at 2 paragraphs only there, 2 important paragraphs. But if you want to understand our history, read it through. I want us to look at paragraph 2 and at paragraph 4. Let me read them. This resolution is after the plebiscite had been conducted. The results of the plebiscite made, and the United Nations is sitting down at the General Assembly to listen to the result of the plebiscite formally and make its own pronouncement on it. Perhaps before we read it, I should go back and say one thing which is important, which leads to this. In the United Nations, the highest authority, the highest body is the General Assembly that passed this resolution. But the department of the United Nations that was in charge of this development of colonial trust territories and so on is the Trusteeship Council. That's the important department that was looking after trusteeship territories. They were supervising the trusteeship. I said they were doing that because that department United Nations now says that they have finished their job. So they don't function unless something happens, something special happens, then they can call them to come back and look at that. But something special is happening. For instance, in southern Cameroon, they have not called them. But that was the department in charge supervising the trust territories and sending out the missions. This department, on the 18th of April 1961, wrote an important report about southern Cameroon. That was their final report on the southern Cameroon to the highest organ. And that report, at the level of the General Assembly, then is adopted, amended, and as a resolution of the entire United Nations. And that report by the Trusteeship Council of their report of the 18th of April 1961. And if you are doing research, it is important to get a copy of that report and read it, because that copy of that report now at the level of the General Assembly became the draft for this resolution we are reading. The General Assembly adopted that report as Resolution 1608. This is important for researchers. So, Resolution 1608, I want to concentrate only on paragraph 2 on that. Not that the other paragraphs are not important. But here. So this is the result of the plebiscite that was conducted in southern Cameroon. The United Nations expresses its high appreciation of the work of the United Nations Plebiscite Commission for the Cameroon under United Kingdom administration and his staff. And paragraph 2. This is the United Nations General Assembly now talking, endorses the result of the plebiscite that A, the people of the northern Cameroons have, by a substantial majority, decided to achieve independence by joining the Independent Federation of Nigeria. B, the people of the southern Cameroons have similarly decided to achieve independence by joining the Independent Republic of Cameroon. This is paragraph 2. And what is the highest organ of the United Nations saying here? It says they are endorsing the decision of the people of northern Cameroon. Note that the administering authority had divided British Cameroons into two. And they are conducting this process of decolonization as separate territories. So if we talk about the trust territory of British Southern Cameroons, we are not wrong, because the United Nations finally accepted what the British did, how the British partitioned the territory. They accepted it, conducted separate plebiscites in the two territories. And here They are endorsing the decision of each of those territories to be independent. What does it mean to endorse? It means that the United Nations approves of it, the United Nations supports it, and that approval, the word endorse, is not that they have refused their independence, it is that they have endorsed, they have approved it. The United Nations. So the major thing about our decolonization, which as we'll see here is aborted, is that here, this law 1608, paragraph 2, the United Nations endorsed our independence. They approved of our independence. That's the first point about this law. If the question then is asked, the Southern Cameroon position, the United Nations approved of our independence. Separate independence for Northern Cameroon and for Southern Cameroon. That's paragraph 2. But let's read the whole text, the whole sentence. It says that the people of the Northern Cameroon have by a substantial majority decided to achieve independence by joining the Independent Federation of Nigeria. Okay, so it is independence by joining. We should not deny that. That is what the law says. We should read it. That's what it says. It is independence by joining. The same thing down here. The people of Southern Cameroon have similarly decided to achieve independence by joining the Independent Republic of Cameroon. That's what the law says. Good. We accept. That's the law. That's the United Nations, the body in the world that makes international law. We have achieved independence and independence by joining. Go to paragraph 4. We jump paragraph 3. Or let me just run through paragraph 3 before we go to 4. It's all right. Considers that the people of the two parts of the trust territories have freely and secretly expressed their wishes with regard to their respective futures in accordance with the General Assembly Resolution 1352, 1473. The decision made by them, brought through democratic process under the supervision of the United Nations, shall be implemented, shall immediately be implemented, or should be implemented. Well, it is not so. So paragraph 4, that was paragraph 3, introducing paragraph 4. Paragraph 4 decides, this is the decision of the United Nations, decides that the plebiscite having taken place with different results, the trusteeship agreement of 13th December 1946 concerning the Canada British administration shall be terminated in accordance with Article 76B of the Charter of the United Nations and in agreement with the administering authority in the following manner. A. With respect to Northern Cameroon on 1st June 1961, upon its joining the Federation of Nigeria as a separate province of the northern region of Nigeria. And B, with respect to the Southern Cameroons on 1st October 1961, upon its joining the Republic of Cameroon. Full stop. That is the important part of these two paragraphs, are the important of this law. You can read the whole thing. Paragraph 5 to which is I'm not going to. I'll take it up for the next lecture, the next talk that we'll have. But let us stop here today and think. This part, these two paragraphs, what we are saying now about this law is very very important part of our history. And if you are back on at home, I hope you are not sleeping. This paragraph 4 is directing the administering authority on terminating, is giving the date of the independence. It gives the date. It has decided in paragraph 2 to endorse, to approve independence for these two territories, Northern Cameroon, Southern Cameroons. It gives the date of that independence, the date it will take effect. For Northern Cameroon, 1st June. For Southern Cameroon, 1st October. So that is the first decision by the United Nations here. But it says, upon Cameroon joining Nigeria as a separate region inside Nigeria. So it gives Northern Cameroons a status after it joins Nigeria. The status is clear. It's not something to go and negotiate. It's not vague. But in this case of the British Southern Cameroons, it says, upon joining the Republic of Cameroon, full stop. Nothing. It says nothing about the status of Southern Cameroons after it joins the Republic of Cameroon. That is what we call in English inconsistency. If you state the status of the other part of British Southern Cameroon, it shall be a region in Nigeria. You should state the status of the Southern Cameroons when it joins the Republic of Cameroon. Why is it left vague? And it ought to be the Southern Cameroon status stated first, because earlier the United Nations had asked Britain that these two countries that you are proposing a plebiscite that they should join, they should each state give in writing the status that let the electorate know that when they join them, what will it be? And they gave. In the case of the Southern Cameroons, the Republic of Cameroon and the Republic of Cameroon and Southern Cameroon leaders agreed that they are going to establish a federation of states of equal status. That ought to be stated the same as stating the status of Northern Cameroon in Nigeria. It ought to be stated here. Southern Cameroon joins this as an equal state. It ought to be stated. Why was it not stated? This is the question we are asking the United Nations. Okay, it was left vague. And fine. There is something more serious to that, more serious than that. Let us go to how these two countries reacted, Nigeria and the Republic of Cameroon, to this proposal of the United Nations. They voted, and Nigeria voted in the affirmative. Nigeria accepted, yes, voted yes. It means that Nigeria accepted Northern Cameroon will join us. They will join us as region. Republic of Cameroon, that Southern Cameroon was going to join, voted no. This is important in our history. And if you are listening, take that vote of the Republic of Cameroon from today as a historical fact. We voted to join them. We don't deny. but they voted on this resolution no. That vote no means that they are saying one, that they don't support arms. 4 votes, 64 countries voted to support. 23 voted no. That 23 includes the Republic of Cameroon. And if there was one country that should support the independence of Southern Cameroon, it ought first to be the Republic of Cameroon. They voted no. And I want to end the talk here. And so I'm ending here because at this point in our history, we have got the fact that the United Nations gave our independence date. We were going to join a country that got its own decolonization fine, easy, and their independence day 1st January. Now, in the rest of Africa, the rest of the world, when we talk of the day of the country, the national date, it is usually the date they got independence. Now, Southern Cameroon officially has got its independence 1st October. Republic of Cameroon got its own first, was a sovereign country, 1st January. Which of these two should they honor as Independence Date? That is the question. And the Republic of Cameroon decides finally that it will be 20th May. What was about 20th May? We'll take it up in the next talk on Wednesday, I think, if Mr. Director will confirm. We'll take it up on the next talk. So in the next talk, we'll finish reading paragraph 5 because it is perhaps the most important paragraph in this particular law, in our history. Paragraph 5. We'll finish reading it, but you can read it at home before you come. And we'll then go and finish up the question of the National Day for Cameroon. They chose 20th May. What is wrong with 20th May? We'll see what is wrong in the next lecture on the next conversation on Wednesday. Thank you. Questions?
I had myself muted. Thank you very much, Pandagam. Please, I like the technicians to still bring power. We're not done with power. Just bring me and him on the screen. Thank you very much for this wonderful historical lecture that you've given to us today. I think from the way you have narrated the story, you've brought some clarity in the laws that govern our sovereignty, that govern our historicity and the legality of our movement, of the question of our independence restoration movement. I am very grateful. And the way you say it, it is very clear that French Cameroon, in essence, really did not receive independence. Whatever was done was a window dressing. Another very remarkable thing, but from what you said, is how the fraud that is involved. And that is where you were almost concluding. Why will they present conditions of independence to others? And for us, it was a vague. It calls to question and it justifies those who believe that the fraud that happened and that led to decolonization and assimilation of the peoples of the former British Southern Cameroons, today Amazonia, was influenced by Great Britain and the United Nations. I am deeply grateful that you have helped to expand our understanding on what has to do with our history. There is no people without a history. When a people like us start tracing our roots and understanding it inspire our desire to fight. Something very remarkable about your discussion today is the fact that you were able to make us understand that you're not just a researcher putting together the facts, but you're also a fighter. You are among the group that went to Abidjan and beat Cameroon. That was remarkable. The same spirit was translated into our President Samuel Sako, when the leaders were picked up illegally, I would say kidnapped from Nera Hotel in Abuja. He filed a lawsuit against the Republic of Cameroon and the Federal Republic of Nigeria and won the case. He beat them. Right now, his calculation on the ground is, I would say, his defense apparatus is proving positive. Cameroon is on their knees trying to look for enablers, blacklegs. They are unable to fight the restoration forces, and they are looking for amateur, what we call today coup plotters, to see if they can dismantle us. It has always been the trick of colonizers, slave masters, to divide and to conquer. But again, it is failing because we are a generation that know better. And thank God we have been blessed to have people like you in our midst. You're not just a father to us, you're more of a mentor, I would say an encyclopedia. Your presence alive is legality added to our requests and our quest for victory. When we stand and talk as youngsters, as youths of this day, that we are a people that have a land and we deserve our land, we look at you as a legal entity that can be placed to say, look at Pa Augustine Dangam. He was not just a reader like some of us, he was an eyewitness, and today he can recollect. You have challenged them that they should meet you on a discussion and a debate. Thank you very much. What you said today is what a lot of people will go to universities to inquire about their own history. But we got it in a platter of gold. Thanks to the board members of ABC Amba TV, thanks to the club members who have made it possible that this day we can have this very special broadcast live on ABC Amba TV. I want to seize this opportunity to apologize for the breakage we had in production. Tomorrow, definitely, we will start earlier. It was planned to start at exactly 6 p.m. Amber time, but we started an hour late. Pa has requested for some questions. I'm sure the anchor ladies do have some questions, and I do have some questions as well. We will give the chance for the public because this program was supposed to end at 10, but since we started late, we're going to enter into the next phase. And the last and also very important phase of the conference of today is the Secretary of State for Communications and IT, Dr. Martin Mungwa. You know, he's an individual. When he speaks, he's also an encyclopedia. He speaks so much knowledge. He'll be coming to crown it up all. To thank Pa Augustine Dangam. You know, like I told you, it was a shoe that was too big for me to wear. Initially, he was on duty and wasn't there. So I took the very heavy task to present Pa Augustine Dangam. Very quickly, Daddy Augustine, I want to ask you this one question, and then I'll find out what our anchor ladies do have that we can ask a few questions for them. I'd like to find out from you, in conformity to what is happening, or perhaps as a way of encouragement, looking at us, the youths. Can you bring Pa Augustine so that I'm sure that he's listening to me? Looking at us, the youths fighting today, what do you have to tell us in terms of the reasons that we are fighting the same battle, but in a different battlefield? In your days, you fought in court. Perhaps you were not picking up sticks and rubber guns like you mentioned earlier on. Today, we have seen our brothers and sisters in the bushes that have picked up weapons. They picked up weapons because of an arrogant, brutal, cruel military that will rather kill people than to talk with them. They have slain thousands. At least 40,000 Amazonians have been slain in less than 5 years. And today, we are determined to be free. We want to be free against all odds. What is your encouragement? What will you tell us? Cameroon is not showing any sign to come to the table, in spite of the platform the international community has made. Cameroon is redundant. Cameroon is stubborn. Looking at your children, listening to you from every part of the world today, listening to you from Amazonia, from Taamafre, from Ediki, Man, from Gokitunja Boyo, looking at them today, the boys that are in the bushes, what do you have to tell them as a concluding statement? And then we'll hand over the mic to the Secretary of State for Communication and IT to talk to you as we round up for the day.
Thank you, Mr. Director. I want to tell our youths and fighters on the front, home front, for defending our country. Thank you for courage and courage. There's no need repeating why you are fighting. You are fighting because you are convinced. Courage. But I should still repeat what you know. There is a natural thing inside a human being, all human beings. It is called an instinct in raw words. It's a natural disposition that if you meet somebody on the road and he hits you, you don't know why, he slaps you, the tendency is to reply, is to hit him back. So the first reason we are fighting is because we have been attacked. And when you are attacked, you stay in your house, somebody walks in and attack you, you reply, you defend yourself. It's natural. We are responding to a natural law. We are attacked, we defend ourselves and our territory. You are attacked in your house, you defend yourself as best you can. That is the first reason we are fighting. That is the most important reason why we are fighting. We didn't start this fight, but Biya declared it openly and attacked. We defend ourselves. We had nothing, and our courageous youths were able to pick up stones and catapults. We thank them. That was courageous, and we urge them on. Now you understand the reason we are fighting, that it was injustice that was done to us, and that we're supposed to be decolonized. You have good reasons to fight. But secondly, and equally important, the reason you are fighting, we turn to the law. We're reading the law throughout, and we turn to what is the international law. The Charter of the United Nations, the international law gives us backing for what we are doing. If you have the Charter of the United Nations, or if you can find it, go to Article 51. Maybe I can just read that one here. No, I will not waste time reading it. Go to Article 51. It is here in my hand. That's the law that backs what we are doing. We were told, the world was told that Southern Cameroon is a people in Banjul. In the case we had in Banjul, as a people, collectively, we have a right to hit back, and we are backed by Article 51 of the United Nations Charter to defend ourselves. So, to all our fighters, may God bless your effort. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pandagam. I would like to, on behalf of every Amazonian youth that is watching me at this very critical time. I want the technicians to get Dr. Martin Mungwa ready to come and round off this discussion, ensure that his mic and everything is connected. I want to thank you once again. And there are a few people I would like to thank before the Secretary of State for Communications and ID comes. I just saw on the ABC enrollment that is a club membership. I want to thank all Amazonians that who are making it possible for this TV to be live. We just have a donation that has come in on ABC Amba TV right now. Thank you very much. This donation has been made to support ABC, I believe. It's support from Banzip of Bali, LGA. Bali is where Pa Augustine Dangam is coming. A lot of other Amazonians have enrolled. They have enrolled on the ABC Amba TV platform. We deeply appreciate. Thank you all very much. Tomorrow we're going to start earlier so that by this time we're going to put our payment details. There's a lot of Amazonians have indicated that they want to donate some monies to us. It's just so unfortunate that we are at 10 p.m. Amber time. But at the close of this program, I will have the technicians put the details up immediately the SOS is done so that you can have the opportunity to talk to us the different ways you can give make a donation. I also want to seize this opportunity to ask all those who are watching right now to subscribe on our page. Facebook is not very reliable, and there might just be some days, I'm not a prophet of doom, that you will have to fall back on ABC Amba TV website where we will have the right to stream the way we want. The content we want will not be blocked or restricted by Cameroon. On Wednesday, Pa Augustine Damgam will be addressing or still be lecturing, this time on Ayejo's ambivalence and 20th May as Southern Cameroon's Day of National Captivity. That's the what Pa Augustine will be sharing. Hopefully tomorrow we will have Professor Bridget, who is a lecturer in the Massachusetts University, Boston, who will be talking on, excuse me please, she will be talking on the historicity and the legality of this movement. Before that, we may have the lawyers speak. And to crown tomorrow up will be a breaking news, a very special announcement that only the Secretary of State for Communications and IT will have the authority to announce to Amazonian. It is a victory, another victory won. You want to connect. You want to tell people that the Secretary of State has a special announcement for the nation of Amazonia tomorrow. And we hope that by 9 p.m. Amber time, he will be live as infused with this conference. The conference is every day from today to Friday, and it begins at 6:30 p.m. It's unfortunate, like I said, for some reasons beyond our immediate control. We started at 7. Unfortunately, we will be ending early. At this point in time, without any much to do, if there's any announcement, I will only give it when the SOS is done talking. At this time, I like us to give the floor to the Secretary of State for Communications and IT, Secretary Martin Mungwa, PhD, FACE. You're welcome, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello, Amazonians. It is a great pleasure for me to talk at the close of this ABC news conference. And I would like to take this occasion to thank Pa Augustine Danga. You are a leader, you are a statesman, you are an educator, you are an author, a community organizer, a mentor, and a father. I can't really express the excitement I have actually seeing you on screen. I know we spoke together in the past, but it's when I listen to you, whatever comes out of your mouth is golden. Um, Many people, probably the younger ones, may not know who you are. And I think I'm just going to talk a little bit about your biography so people know who you are. So you studied English literature and literature at the Federal University of Cameroon. That's what they call University of Yaoundé today. And at the School of English of the University of Leeds in the United Kingdom. I'm proud to tell you that I'm also a graduate of the University of Leeds. That's where I did my engineering education. So we share the same alma mater. And I know you worked, from 1979 to 95 as a high school administrator, serving as a principal in Wom, Kumbo, Bamenda, respectively. And you also taught at the higher ENS, a college in Bambili, and later at the Bamenda University of Science and Technology, which I'm also proud to tell you that I actually developed the engineering program for BUST at Bamenda University of Science and Technology. So we have a lot in common. I know that you're also an active community leader, and you championed, enthusiastically supported initiatives aimed at at the development of Balinyonga and improving on the welfare of the people. And specifically, you worked on the water supply system that was autonomous and self-sustaining. And the people of Bali and the fund also recognized you for this wonderful initiative. And I think you've been given a title of Ba Nkam Wanwa. And this is a testimony to the sort of leadership that you have that goes all across, either in your local area of Bali or as an Ambazonian, for all the work that you've done on behalf of our people. I know that you're also an author, and you actually wrote a book with a British, David Weir. And surprisingly, I know him. His wife was my English teacher at Secret College, and also my history teacher at World Affairs. I wasn't a very good student in World Affairs. I'm sure if she taught us about the UN Charter on Southern Cameroons, that might have been more appealing. But we're reading about foreign countries in a World War One, World War Two, and so on and so forth. So it is really a great pleasure for me to meet you today, and I hope all Anglo-Bazonians who listen to you will actually take home some of the very vital aspects of our history, which we have missed for more than 60 years. Once again, thank you, Pa and Dangam, and I look forward to listening to you again on Wednesday. Have a nice day. Thank you. Over to you, Paddy.
Yes, thank you very much, SOS, for that wonderful remark there. I understand that the anchor ladies will be coming to conclude this program. Thank you, SOS, for this. We started late. We planned on allowing some of you to call in and to make some contributions. Like I mentioned, donations are ongoing for ABC Amba TV. Our payment details will be placed on the screen. Tomorrow we will do that formally, and I promise you we'll start early enough. If you have some contributions to make during this conference, you have very special articles you want us to read, and even if possible tag your name, because we will place every content you give to us on the website. Please indicate that before the program begins. If you have some questions as the speakers will be speaking tomorrow. We'll have more speakers will speak before the SOS comes up. So we'll start really on time tomorrow to attend to all the speakers. We hope to also have, before the conference ends on Friday, we hope to have Barrister Ghana Valentine that will expatiate more on these UN charters and the treaties and all the laws that are binding and the ones that are non-binding. Thank you once again, SOS, for coming to crown it for us. You were normally supposed to give, I would say, the maiden address. It was a speech I did impromptu. I didn't plan to make a speech. And for me to make a speech in your place was a big challenge, and I was actually stammering. It is clear that I fumbled. But thank you for coming again to fill in the gap. On Thursday, before the president speaks, most probably you will have the honor to speak a few minutes before the president. And tomorrow, like I said, the SOS will be live. We'll be live at 9 p.m. and pick on top of the hour for the conference. That means 3 hours into the conference, the SOS will be coming with a breaking news. You do not want to miss this. It's a breaking news that I cannot even hint you. I just want you to make sure that you connect and watch. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, SOS. Thank those. I hand over the mic to you, Onye and Star Smart.
Right. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Regardless of the technical challenges, you are still there, promising that tomorrow will be a better one. So ensure you stand by once it's 6 p.m. Amber time, and we will be right here. So smart.
We really do appreciate your participation. We do appreciate your participation, and we hope that tomorrow, for any one of you who has any contributions or inputs to make, you'll get a chance to make that call and get through to us. But that's good night from us.
All right. I am Onyi Okbala.
And I am Star Smart.
Good night.
Good night.